Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Monday, the 9th of May 2022. You are probably new to this channel, or you may have just been here once or twice before, because Monday is always beginner's day and an easy puzzle, or maybe you just prefer the easy level. That's fine. If you don't want to progress or play the harder level games, just playing the easy games is great. It can be a nice pastime, and take your mind off of things if you're suffering from stress or whatever. So let's get on and explain the rules very quickly about how to play Sudoku in case you've not seen it before. It's a game of 9 squares across by 9 squares down. It's a large grid, and then within the larger grid we also have these smaller 3 by 3, 3 across here by 3 down. You can see this block like this. Okay, now what do we do? Well, in each of the rows and in each of the columns and in each of these blocks, 9 by 9, 3 by 3, sorry. This is when I clicked on the 9, that's what happened. We try to fit the numbers 1 to 9, so it's really a game of 9s. There are 9 of these blocks as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 squares in each column, each row, and we fit each number once only. So it's a very simple rule to understand. All we have to do now is decide how do we find the answer. So, for example, this block that is highlighted in blue, we have some numbers already. We have a 2, 3, 4, and 9. So we're looking for numbers 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those are the numbers that we don't yet have, right? Now, if we look across here, we'll notice this 7, and we can say that because we already have a 7 in this, because 7 already exists in this row, it can't reappear in this row. So right across here, there can be no other 7s because there are only 9 squares, right? Each number can fit only once, so that makes sense, doesn't it? And down here we have another 7, so we can apply the same logic, same rule here. So we know that 7 can't be in this square, this square, this square, this square, or this square because of this 7 and this 7. And the other squares already have digits in them. So we can see just one blank square where a 7 could possibly go. And so we know that's where, in fact, it does go because there is only one unique solution to every Sudoku game. Got it? Oh, excuse me, my telephone is telling me about things that I don't have to deal with just yet. I should deal with it later. Right. Now, let's do the same thing in this block. And this has got a lot of empty spaces this time, but we're going to consider digit 3. So we look at 3 across here and we say blocking all the way across here, meaning 3 cannot reappear again in any of these squares. And the same for this 3, blocking these 3 squares here. And again, we're left with just one empty square that's not occupied by any digit or any intersecting number. So 3 must be placed in that square there. Well, I think you're getting the hang of it now, aren't you? Let's try and find digit 8 up here, shall we? We're looking for 8. Now this time we're going to come down and look at the column here with this 8 blocking up here and this 8 blocking up here, because remember the same rule applies to rows and columns and within the block once only for each number. So when this 8 blocks up here and 8 blocks up here, we're left with just that single square there where an 8 can go. And now, because we've already filled in some digits and stuff, we can take this 6 and block across here like this, and now there's only one empty square. So you can see we're gradually narrowing the number, reducing the number of empty squares, and therefore reducing the possibilities here. Now there are only 2 empty squares here, and if you look, see what we have already, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, you find what's missing is 1 and 5. So we know that 1 and 5 must fit into these remaining 2 empty squares. And we see down here that this 5 eliminates this square here, and so we know that 5 must fit here, and the final digit for this block is a 1, because we have to have numbers 1 to 9 in each block as well. Okay, so now we've done a block. Congratulations, your first ever Sudoku block maybe. Let's carry on. Oh, I'm getting a telephone call. Hold on 1 second, I should be back in a moment. Hello, sorry about that. Real world work interferes with hobby Sudoku. Nothing to be surprised about, of course. It often does. So, where was I? Oh, yes. Well, I can see digit 1 highlighted, but I have no idea why. I think probably because that's the last number that I put in. I don't think there's anything to do about it. So, what's the next digit. Now I've completely lost track. That's the trouble. Well, if you can hear the thunder here, it's thunder and lightning here in Bangkok. I'm not sure if the microphone is picking that up or not. But anyway, the trouble is that when you stop for a moment from Sudoku, you have to kind of concentrate and find the numbers again that you had kind of fixed already. Right, this time we see nines blocking in this pattern. 9 up this column, 9 up this column, and 9 across this row, leaving just that square where a 9 can fit. So 9 across this row, up here, just that space there where a 9 can fit now. Hope we don't lose power. We might have a power cut if it. Sometimes in the electrical storms that we have here in Bangkok, it can hit a local local. I'm not sure what they are. Transformer. Sorry, hit a local transformer on the street. A lot of our cables are above ground as opposed to below ground, and bang, you'll hear a bang, and then you won't have any air conditioning, any computers online, or other things that we often need, microwave for heating food, etc., etc. It all disappears for a while, although not normally for too long, but to be honest. Right, back to the Sudoku. If I can find the next number, that would be nice, wouldn't it? You'd be happy, and I'd be happy, because right now I don't know where the next number is. I never play these games ahead of time, and so it's news to me when we find the actual number. Ah, there we go. So there's a 2 blocking across here like this, and a 2 blocking across here, and so a 2 can fit into that square there. Now we have 2 empty squares here, so if we look at the rest of the numbers in the row, we can work out what's missing, can't we? What we don't have are numbers 3 and 4. We've got 1, 2, there's no 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we know 3 and 4 must fit into here. So have a look down and see if you can find any intersecting 3s or 4s that will affect this. Yes, you're right. This 3 blocks this square here, so we know that 3 goes here and 4 has to fit there. Now we also have 4 blocking right across this row, so we know that 4 must go into that square there. Now we always have to look at the missing numbers here, so let's see what's missing. What we don't have is 1 and 5 in this row. 1 and 5, that's what we need to complete this row. So we have a look for any intersecting 1s or 5s. Oh, you're ahead of me, right? You've found that 5 already, haven't you? So you know that that can't be 5. You know the 5 has to fit there, and the 1 has to fit there. So what's missing now? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 6. We've got 7. There's no 8. There is a 9. So 6 and 8 are our missing numbers left here. You know what to do, don't you? Oh, you've done it already. Well done. So 6 blocking up here. So this square will become 6. And the last number for this whole block now is 8. Now we'll take that 8 and see if we can use it down here. See if you can find the position for 8 in this block down here. Okay, I think that's enough time. So 8 blocks across here like this, 8 blocks down here, and 8 blocks down here. So just one empty white square where the 8 can go. We'll place it there. Now in this, I must just, okay, nothing essential. Now in this column here, what do we see? We are lacking 2 digits. We have 2 empty squares here, right? So we don't have a 1 and we don't have a 7 in this column. So this time we need to look across the rows for any 1s or 7s, and yeah, look, we find this 1 here blocking that square. So we know that we put the 1 there, and we know that we put the 7 just there. Now in this block here, we don't yet have a 6, but when you take this 6 down here and say it blocks up this column, well then we're left with just that 1 place there to know where the 6 goes. Now, quite often when you look for numbers, you don't find anything useful. So we know now that the numbers missing for here are 4 and 7. But when we look across here, we can't find anything to tell us which is which. So for now, we just have to leave that 4 and 7 and come back to it later. But because we know that 4 and 7 is here, we can also work out what goes in these two squares as well. We don't yet have a 1 in this column. Remember, this square and this square contain 4 and 7. So we don't have a 1. We've got 2, we've got 3, we've got 4 somewhere here. We don't have a 5. So we know that these two squares must contain 1 and 5, right? Or you could just say 5 blocks down here, like this. And also the 1 blocks down here. So now you know 1 and 5. But when you look across here, you'll see this intersecting 5. And so we know that the 5 will fit here, and the 1 will be our last number here. Where does a 1 go in this block here? Have a quick look. Right, well done. 1 blocking across this row and across this row. So a 1 fits there. Okay, let's continue. What else do we need now? So, you know, it's good to, like, we've got 3 empty squares here. We looked at these already and we couldn't do anything. We've got 3 empty squares here that we can work out. 3 here that we can work out. For sure, I mean. But we don't know, when I say for sure, I don't mean that we can actually place the 3 numbers for sure. What I mean is we can limit to 3 numbers only. Okay, so, okay, now either, the 2 ways of doing it, either we look at these numbers, and we work out what's left in these 3, or we look at these, oops, excuse me, we look at these numbers and we work out what's left in these 3. It doesn't matter, it's the same, it will be the same numbers, okay? So what we don't have 2, we don't have 3, and we don't have 4. Now we have an intersecting 2, we have an intersecting 4, and we don't know anything about the 3. So that's not enough to place the 2, 3, and 4 in these squares just yet, so that's no good. Let's look up here. What are we missing? We're missing 1, we don't have, 3, we don't have, and 5 we don't have. So let's see if we've got any intersecting numbers. Well, here's a 5, here's a 3, and here's a 1. Now this is interesting because this time this is useful because the 1 and the 3 are in the same column. Excuse me, wriggling around in my chair. The 1 and the 3 are in the same column. So remember, 1, 3, and 5 must fit into these 3 empty squares. So this square here, can it be a 1? No. Can it be a 3? No. So if it's not 1 and not 3, well then we can deduce, know in fact, that it is a 5 because it can't be anything else. Okay. Now look for 5 down, ooh, excuse me, look for 5, I can only control my mouse. Look for 5 down here and see what we come up with. Nice easy one. In fact, we've got numbers up here and here, but this is the only one actually we actually need because 5 blocks across here. And we can place our 5 there. And now 5 is done. We have a 5 in every one of our 9 small mini grids of 3 by 3. Okay, but now also what we've done is we've given ourselves 3 numbers that go along here now. Okay, a moment ago, before we placed that 5, we couldn't say for sure what these 3 numbers were, but now we have 3 empty ones in a row, 3 empty numbers in a row. So the missing numbers are 3, 6, and 8. That's what we need for these 3 empty squares here. 3, 6, and 8. Now I'm going to give you a minute or 2 to have a look at this and think about what we just did, the trick that we just played a moment ago, and see how you can use that idea. 3, 6, 8 is what we're looking for. Okay, I think that's long enough. Right, so this square here, can it be 3? No. Can it be 6? No, because it's in the same column, right? So if it can't be 3 and it can't be 6, well, we only have one other possibility. We know that it must be an 8, because it can't be anything else. Okay. Now, when we look down this column here, we look for only 2 empty squares, so we find that the missing numbers are 7 and 9. That's what we need to complete this column, 7 and 9. So 7 and 9 must fit into these 2 empty squares. We have an intersecting 9. So we know the 9 is there and the 7 goes there. Now, can we place a 7? Okay, we have 2 empty squares here, right? And the missing numbers are 4 and 7. Now my question to you is, can we tell which is which? And the answer now is yes, we can. Now, a moment ago we couldn't, but now we can. So how is this? Well, we have to kind of think forward a little bit. So let's imagine this. 7 blocks across this row here. Do you agree? 7 also blocks down here. So 7 is in one of these 2 squares here. That's what we know for sure. So if it's in this square, well, then it blocks across this row. And if it's in this square, well, it still blocks across this row. So can this square be 7? Answer, no, it cannot, because a 7 has to appear in one of these 2 squares here. So we know that's not 7. This is 7, must be, and this has to be the last number for this block or this column, which is 4. Okay. Are you enjoying the Sudoku game? I hope so, because this is how it is, really. This is the fun of it, finding the logic and understanding what's going on here. Okay, so when we look at this row now, we have 2 empty squares, and we look for the missing numbers, and we find 1 and 4 are missing. So I think you can see there's a 4 pretty close by, which means that that can't be a 4. So our 4 goes here, and our 1 goes here now. In fact, we have 1 blocking across here, 1 blocking up, and 1 blocking down, so we can place a 1 there. And now this 1 over this side blocks this square, so we know that the 1 fits there, and the last number to get there is 3. Now 3 blocks all the way down here, so that's a 3, and now there's only 1 number missing in this block, which is 6, so we'll put that in. Now in this column, there's only 1 empty square, so as soon as we find it, we can place it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's no 6, so we know that's what's missing. Now here we are missing 2 and 8, and here's an 8 blocking this square, so 8 goes here, and 2 is in that square. How do we find 2 over here? Can you find 2? Location of 2. Okay, so 2 blocks across here like this, 2 blocks down here. So that's our 2. Now we only have 1 number missing across here. When we search for it, we don't find a 4, so we know that 4 is our missing number. Can you put in a 4 down in this block, please? I'll give you a second so you can practice it. Okay, good. 4 blocks down here, 4 blocks down here, 4 blocks across here, so this is a 4. And now we've only got 1 empty, we've got 1 block where 4 doesn't appear. We've got 4 every block except for this one down here. Now this is a rule in Sudoku that if you find 8 digits, 8 of the same digit, you can always find the 9th version. So 4 blocks across here, like this, 4 blocks across here, and now 4 there, that's the last 4. What's missing from here now? 2 and 3. Well, there's a 2 right next door, so it's easy to see. 2 goes there, 3 goes there. 3 blocks down here and down here, so we know this has to be a 3. Now we are only 1 digit missing from this column. The missing number looks to me to be a 6, so I think that's the one that we need then. Now we have 6 blocking across here and 6 blocking down here, so we can place our 6 here. Missing numbers here are 7 and 9. Now actually we still can't get 7 or 9 because we don't have any. So even though we're very close to the end of the game, it looks like this, we can't find 7 and 9. But let's do it in a slightly different way. Because we have 2 squares missing in this block here, and we have 2 squares in this intersecting column, in fact they have to be the same. If these 2 squares are 7 and 9, this square and this square must also be 7 and 9. So this is another Sudoku rule that will help you to find the answer. 7 and 9 here, this must also be 7 and 9. Now when you come down here and you find that 9 blocks this square, you know that this cannot be a 9. So 9 must be in that square there. Now 7 will go here, and 7, because I said 9 and 7 are the same numbers, have to apply. 7 goes there. Okay. Now we just have 1 number missing across here. The last number here is a 2. and to finish today's Sudoku game, and 9 is the last number that we need. So I hope you understood that. If not, go back and check out some of the other Monday Sudoku puzzles from The Guardian. They're all easy level, beginner level, and some of them have more explanations than this. That's it. Thank you. Hope that you will come back and join me for more Sudoku and try to build up your level a bit at least. Bye bye.